Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. It's so nice to be here with you all. If we haven't met before, I'm Monique Bradley, no mai haere mai, to the YourFixTV studio, which is actually my house. I'm really honoured to be doing this tonight because I've had such an overwhelming response that I feel quite teary about this. I've been on such a tremendous journey over the last 25 years of my adult life that I feel like I'm in this place where I just want to be able to give back. And if that means if somebody out there watching tonight is sitting there feeling less than fabulous, if you feel like you're carrying a few extra pounds or you just don't feel good, it's time to change that. I really struggled with my weight. So if you've been following me on social media, I was an obese child. I even went to the orthodontist when I was 12 and I was so overweight that the orthodontist looked at my mum and said, there's no point giving her braces because it's not like she'll ever be a Hollywood movie star. That actually happened. I can laugh about it now, but at the time, you know, I was a pretty sensitive 12-year-old. I was bullied really severely for being overweight by adults and by children, and I had a really rough time, and I didn't really like myself too much. And it wasn't until, that was Pete, by the way, it wasn't until I started doing some really big inner work in my adult life to really understand, why do I emotionally eat? Why am I overweight? In fact, why am I morbidly obese? Yes, I was. It's true. I showed somebody a photo of me today when I was actually over 110 kilos. In fact, I'll show you my photos. We've got those right now of the progression of me. The first photo I want to show you first of all, and then we'll get into the recipe, is in fact a photo of me when I was 10. And I think Pete's going to bring that up on the screen in just a sec. Now that picture, or have you got the pictures, Pete? The picture is of me when I was 10, my mum in the middle and my cousin Nicole on her hip. So there you go. Now at that age, 10, and I was actually wearing adult size 12 clothing. So I was actually a little bit bigger than I am now as an adult. So yeah, oh, hello everybody. I've just seen everybody in the news feed saying hello. It's good to see you guys. Now, the next image I want to show you was me at my absolute biggest. So this is me at 110 kilos. True story. True story. We're going to show you the picture of me dressed as Toad of Toad Hall. So that's me. So you can see a difference between me then and me now. So that photo of me was taken on the left, was taken about 6 months ago. And then I'm going to tell you a bit of a different journey. So after that time when I was 110 kilos, I had post-traumatic stress disorder. I was suffering from grief from losing my dad and from years of being bullied. I just really didn't like myself. I started overeating and I actually ended up with anxiety and heart palpitations, panic attacks. I started getting the sort of feeling of depression sort of looming over me as well. I felt really crook, to be fair. So I actually did a really bad thing and I starved myself. And in 8 months, I went from Toad of Toad Hall size, which was 110 kilos, to 42 kilos. And I was actually wearing children's size 12 clothing. I was really sick mentally and physically. I could feel my body starting to shut down. But at that time, that's when I really started to listen to my body. And I started to understand that there's a language between you and your body, that if we spend the time listening, we can actually listen to what our body wants and needs, not what our cravings want and need, but what our actual body is trying to communicate to us. So over the years, I spent lots of time arguing with my body and I went up and down in weight and up and down in weight. In fact, Pete's going to bring up a photo for you now, and it's the photo of me when I was about 32, 33. That's me in the yellow there, where I was about 84 kilos. And I was actually used as a plus size model for a catalogue. That's me on the right at 69 kilos. Now that was about 4 years ago. And at that stage I had been doing some bad things again. I'd been living off protein shakes and Coke Zero and things like that. And while I had lost quite a bit of weight, I felt pretty crook. And I think you can see under my eyes are quite sunken there on the right, and I just didn't feel that great again. And I just thought, this is not the way. I would suffer from symptoms of cold shivers. I had heaps of food allergies. I'd be on the toilet all the time. I'd suffer from bloating. You know all the details. If you've ever suffered from the symptoms of irritable bowel, you probably know what I'm talking about, so I won't go into the gory details. So again, up and down and up and down. Earlier this year, I was back up at 80 kilos. And if you've seen me more recently, you probably go, no, she was never 80 kilos. I know how to hide 80 kilos. I knew how to hide 110 at one stage. And then about 7 weeks ago, I actually started on a low carb lifestyle. how that came about was I started working on a health show called Health Bites on a Monday night. And through learning about what our gut does, the gut and brain connection, learning more about food intolerances, how I wasn't celiac, I wasn't even gluten insensitive, and that I was actually carbohydrate intolerant, that's pretty much what started the whole journey. And in that time, I've gone from, I was pushing up to a size 16 to today, this is the size 8 shirt that I'm wearing right now. True story. So tonight I'm going to share with you a really quick recipe that you can use and you don't feel like you're eating low carb. You feel like you're having something decadent and yummy. And I wanted to show you this recipe tonight. I've got about 500 grams of beef mince in here, but you could use pork, you could use chicken, or you could even use, lamb would be amazing. I'm going to mix an egg into that. I'm actually going to use my recipe for low carb English muffins, and I'm actually going to make mini sliders. So there you go. This cooks up really quickly. I'm using the egg there to bind everything through. I'm just using that fork at the minute because I'm going to add in there some mixed herbs. And by the way, because I've got the stream here, I can see everybody on the stream. Matt Con's just said hi. Hi, Matt Con. I think Pete's just brought up the recipe there for you. That's coming up soon. That's the mini bun recipe. Add in some salt. Add in some pepper. And I'm doing this first because the buns take literally 90 seconds to cook. I'm going to add in some chopped onions that I chopped earlier. And then things are going to get messy. So if you've been watching and you've been following my posts, if you're struggling with your weight right now, I'd really love to know what's been your biggest sort of problem with it. Is it fitness? Is it you look at a cake like I would and gain 15 pounds? What's your real biggest challenge? Because I'd really love to know, because if there's something I can help you with, that's what I'm here to do. Just looking at the newsfeed. Oh gosh, so many smiles and laughs. Thanks, team. Good to see you. Hello, Brooke Huia, who's watching. Jonathan Penrose, hello to you. Eunice Atwood, lovely to see you. And again, thank you all for your lovely comments. That's the recipe screen that just came up a moment ago. That's for the bun recipe that you're really going to love. It's actually an English muffin recipe, but I tested it and I thought this would make really, really good slider buns. Because, do you know what I did? I Googled how to make hamburgers and if there was a low carb recipe, and everybody online was saying, oh, it's okay, just take your low carb, you take your bun and wrap it in lettuce because that's just as good. How no, it's not. That sucks. When I want a hamburger, I want a little hamburger and a bun, please. So I'm just going to make up a few of them tonight, and then I'm going to show you how seriously easy this is. But remember, oh, hi, Michael Ears, nice to see you. Awesome. Feel free, team, to ask me any questions. Now, these sliders as well, you don't just have to use mince. In fact, very shortly, I'm going to show you a few other options you can put into your slider, and they are super, super tasty. So what I'm actually making them as is just delicious meatballs. Now, you notice I didn't use any flour. Didn't need to. The egg's going to bind it together because your egg is your binding agent right there. I'm only going to do the 5 of them there. I'll put the rest away there and I'll wash my hands. Perfect. Super easy. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load those into, got my George Foreman grill, my trusty George Foreman grill, and I'm actually just going to put these little, all sounding good, my little meatballs into there, and they're just going to cook over the next few minutes while I make the slider buns. So when you think low carb, I know a lot of people have really struggled with it because they're thinking, oh, I can't have bread anymore, I can't have cake anymore, and I can't have all the things I truly love. Well, here's the thing I've learnt, is it's most important to eat real food. So number 1, stop if you are eating low carb cakes, and stop if you're eating, all these sugar-free things. Chances are they're actually loaded with preservatives and chemicals that don't serve your health. And in fact, for me, because of so many years drinking things like, diet drinks and things like that, I actually developed an intolerance to that too. So there you go. Oh, these are sounding great. Oh, looking good too. They just stuck to the thing a bit there. Right. Almond meal, this is for your slider buns. I've got 3 tablespoons of almond meal. Now I have actually used a non-bleached almond meal there, and the reason why I've done that is these are going to be like little wholemeal buns, and I really like them like that. There we go. I've actually got here half a tablespoon of coconut flour. Really, really nice. Almond meal is also known as almond flour, so if you see that in a recipe, now you know what I'm talking about. Pushpa's just said, hi Pushpa, I would add my Indian spices. That's the thing. You can turn this into whatever you want it to be, and it's amazing. I'm going to add in an egg as well, and we're going to mix that all the way through. Delicious. Now, a lot of people have mentioned that with some of the low-carb recipes they've found on the internet that they can be quite eggy tasting, especially when you're making the cakes and things like that. The key to this is it's about the flavours that are coming through. How are we looking here? Cute. First one stuck, but the rest of them are looking good. Man, they cook quick. I might even just switch that off. It's that good. Switch on the expeller. Right. I've got half a teaspoon here of baking powder. And I'm using avocado oil, and the reason why I add avocado oil to my recipe is that I do not eat fish. And the only way that you can get your omegas is through eggs and through avocados and avocado oil. So it's a great way to add those yummy omegas that are so good for your brain into your diet. All right, how are we looking, team? Is it looking good where you are? Hello, Raja over in India. What am I cooking tonight? I am making low-carb sliders. Now, this recipe right here is actually my recipe for English muffins, low-carb English muffins. Absolutely delicious. So easy to make, and you can do it for breakfast, and you can toast this up, because I would recommend once you cook it to toast it, and when you toast it you can load it up with something delicious like avocado slices and tomato, or you can even add into it one of my favourite things, cream cheese. Absolutely delicious. So how's that looking so far, team? It's looking pretty easy. Look at that recipe there, and look at what we're doing in here. Super, super easy. Now, here's what it is. I've got these. These are actually a silicone cake mould that I got from my friends at Guide to Better Shopping. This is super cool because it all joins together and you can make all sorts of different shapes with one silicone mould. It comes in 4 pieces, so I'm only using 2 pieces tonight. I'm going to make 2 tubes of delicious, yummy buns, just like that. Okay. Put those bits in the centre. Now these are super cool because you can even use them to make cakes and muffins and make desserts in them. You can put eggs into them. Oh, Jeanette Keeble just said looks amazing. You're amazing, Jeanette. Oh, now by the way, if you're watching this and you're not yet on my mailing list, boy, have I got something exciting coming up for people on my mailing list. All you need to do to subscribe is there's a button on the top of my Facebook page, and you can actually click on that button and sign up, because I've got the best recipes so you never feel like you're missing out. I've got low-carb pancakes, the best low-carb chocolate cake, and all of it serves your health, and that's the great thing about this. Everything that I've been doing, like you'll see, there was no gum in here, there was no additives or preservatives. This is all made from real food. So this is loaded with goodness for you. And there's fibre in there too, which is of course great for the intestines and absolutely delicious. Another reason why I prefer avocado oil is the fact that it's loaded with potassium, and sometimes if we're feeling a bit puffy, chances are we're actually holding in too much sodium, so too much salt in our diet. Now sodium retains water, so if you've got that puffy kind of look going on at the moment, you need to balance out your sodium and potassium levels. That's one of the things that I actually learned from working on the Monday Night Health Show. Right, so that was pretty easy, wasn't it? I've got my bun mix in there right now, looking pretty good, pretty tasty right there. And here's the magic. You can cook this in the oven on about 175 to 200 degrees, depending on how hot your oven is, for about 15 minutes. Or you can do what I'm going to do, and you're going to do a quick cheat, which is, and I wouldn't normally recommend microwave cooking, but I need to cook these fast for you guys. I'm going to pop it in the microwave, and I'm going to do that for 90 seconds. 90 seconds on high, just moving that bottle out of the way. Right, that's going to rise, and in the meantime, I'm going to check how my little meat patties are going. I bet they're looking delicious. So what do you guys think of that so far? Is that pretty easy? Right? I think so. Oh, tasty meaty goodness. A little bit stuck to the top, don't mind that. Looking pretty good. Looking deliciously juicy. Better cut one open, make sure we're cooked. They're looking pretty well cooked. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now you notice I didn't use any oil in these either because, you know, there's enough fat in the meat as well. I didn't use like a low fat kind of variation. You know, fat holds flavour, but at the same time, fat's not the demons in our diet unless you've got high cholesterol. So if you are considering doing something like this low carb diet, because it is higher in fat, do check with your doctor first, especially if you've got a few health complaints. And it's the same for people who might be pre-diabetic or have diabetes. You might want to check just to make sure that this lifestyle is okay for you. And by the way, I have had a bunch of messages, people saying, but don't you feel like you're missing out on things? Don't you miss having chocolate? Don't you miss having chippies? Which was a staple part of my diet. And the answer is no. No, I don't. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And that's why this way of eating is so much better for me, so much healthier, because of the sheer fact that, you know, I never feel like I'm missing out. I always feel like everything is so delicious. When I had my eating disorder, I'll just grab these out. When I had my eating disorder, I never felt any sense of hunger or fullness. Now you see my buns are already completely done there. And now I have a sense of hunger again, and I know when I'm full. So while these recipes might be higher in calories, if that's something that concerns you, just know that it's about being mindful about your body as well and about the eating experience. So instead of worrying about, oh, this is super high carb or, super high fat or, you know, so much protein, think about being mindful with every mouthful. How much do you actually need to be full? And one of the great things that I learned from working with Master Chef Ray McVinney, ta-da, is that, you know, really the ideal way to lose weight is stop eating, you know, those in-between snacks. We don't actually need them. Eat 3 really good meals and make sure that you're eating more plant food, because that's a great way to stock up if you want, you know, great energy, good nutrients, and of course it gives you that fuller feeling as well, same as protein. Right, how are we looking? Oh, Rachel Thompson, easy peasy. I know, Rachel, I know. Isn't this crazy? Oh, Jan Webbling, getting hungry watching this. I know, right? This is crazy. So I've got my 2 little buns there. And all I'm going to do is chop that, might use the bigger knife. Chop that up like that. Pop my pan on here. I'm just going to pour a little bit of avocado oil in the back there. Just smushy that around a little bit. And hopefully that will, yes. So we want them quite thin. Now, if you use the bleached version or the version that doesn't have all the almond skins in it, the almond flour, you'll get a beautiful white. Oh, I've done them all. Brilliant. You'll get a beautiful white English muffin, and you can cook this, say, in a ramekin dish. Or that's not a ramekin dish, but something that size, and you'll actually end up with a really lovely English muffin. When I first tested the recipe, I actually made an English muffin in this size container, and it was awesome. It was so good. And I just sliced it up, put it in the toaster once I got it out, because they are a bit squidgy, you know, it's not like your traditional bread. And yeah, I just toasted it up, and it was absolutely delicious. Loaded it with cream cheese and some tomatoes. So tomatoes are low on carb, winning at life. Okay, I'm going to take my little buns here. I'm actually going to pop them into my fry pan. And then hopefully my lovely assistant, who is Miss Leah, who's my partner Pete's daughter, she's going to come and keep an eye on them for me and turn them over in the fry pan. So those are going nice and crispy. Right, and then we get to dream about what are we going to put in our sliders. So here's something I prepared earlier. Always wanted to say that on my own show. I've got tomato, the best mayonnaise ever. Why do I like this? It's made of real food. It's made of real ingredients. There's no preservatives. The fact that it says that once you open it, you have to refrigerate it tells me it's made of food. If you see any food that has a whole bunch of numbers at the back, get rid of it immediately. It is just not good for your body. I've got some salad greens as well. And I got me some cheese. So back in the day when I first embarked on my first big major diet, I would have looked at this and had a freak out thinking, this can't be right for my body. This can't be right. Oh, Miss Leah, are you going to come and check the buns for me? So if you haven't met Leah before, come and say hi. This is Leah. Leah is 12 years old and she is lucky she can eat lots of carbohydrates, not because she's just active, just yeah, have a check and see if they're okay. She leads a pretty active lifestyle, plays on the bars and runs around at school a lot, but she has very different genes from me. And what I'm learning about on this low carb journey is it actually does come down to our genes. It comes down to the fact that some of us can process carbohydrates and some of us can't. So if you subscribe to my mailing list, the information that will be coming out with you for you with a whole bunch of recipes that I've been using actually talks about this one gene and the enzyme that is actually in our saliva that breaks down carbohydrates. And if you don't produce a lot of that enzyme, which I don't because I don't have the genes for it, chances are I'll be more carbohydrate intolerant. So it actually comes back to science. Oh, Pushpa said best mayonnaise. It's the only way to go. Awesome, I totally agree. Oh, hi, Bjorn May. Good to see you. Raja just said, is it a snack or a meal? You can use this for a snack. However, somebody like me, I don't have the hugest of appetites. How are we looking, Leah? I don't have the hugest of appetites, so probably I could eat 3 of these and I'd be pretty full. Because you've got quite a dense bit of protein there in the middle, you don't really need a lot of these, and also because your buns there are made of almonds and coconut flour and egg, so again lots of protein going on there too. So this really is a great recipe, and again you can use that bun recipe for your own devices. You could decide you want to turn it into a mini loaf, which would be super cute. You can make it as the English muffin, or you could do what I do and make it as a slider. It's entirely up to you. You can even add herbs into it and you can do a whole bunch of things to change up the flavour. How are we looking, Missy? Looking good, looking good. Just going to turn up that heat a little bit. If you are watching, and oh, Lynette Hill just said, hi guys, hi Lynette. I hope I haven't missed any of your questions. Let me have a look. Who else is watching tonight? Oh, there's a whole bunch of you. Hi everybody. Oh, Molly G Page, hi, loving your hair as a brunette, Molly, from one brunette to another. Welcome to the club, loving it. You look great. And if you do have any questions while I'm just waiting for these buns to toast up, send them on through. If you want to know, do I have any little treats? Do I still eat chocolate? The answer is yes. If you want to know, do I drink alcohol? The answer is yes. Do you want to know what I drink? Ask in the news feed and I will tell you. Do I eat any carbs? A very good question. Yes, I do eat carbs. My favourite carbohydrates are actually cauliflower. Oh, just thinking about it and I want to drool. I can eat a little bit of kumara, but if I do, because of my genes and the way that my body does process carbohydrates, I have to eat that after 5 p.m. So carbohydrates will slow my energy down and slow my body down when they're processing. So I need to eat it later in the night because then I'm relaxed and then I can go to bed. So that's kind of the way it works. Oh, goodness. Wow, so many of you watching tonight. It's awesome to see you here. Okay, how are we looking, Miss Leah? Looking good. That is awesome. I'm going to grab a couple right now, and then I'll get you to keep toasting the rest. Oh, so good. Even smells good. Thanks, doll. I'll give that one back to you. You're in charge. Okay, super easy. Now, my meat patties turned out a little bigger than I anticipated, but here's the thing. We're going to make them real delish. Now, this bread can be a little bit drier, so we want to give it... Oh! I love it. We want to give a little bit. I wasn't sure if the cap had been taken off. We want to put a little bit of mayo in there to start. Just to that's the best.
It's okay. I was looking at.
We're looking at that too.
I'm like, and then I just managed to see
me
some little lines.
Me make it explode. So I'm going to put it on both sides.
the noise it makes.
I know, it sounds a bit rude, doesn't it, Leah?
Yeah.
Right, there we go. That's a good start. How many of you parents out there are looking forward to school holidays? No, it's awesome. We get Miss Leah for a whole week next week, and we're going to have, I know, right? We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do some baking, and Leah's going to help me in the kitchen, which is awesome. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to add, what do I want to add? Maybe some meat. Oh, look at that one. Oh, delicious. I'm going to add a little bit of my salad greens in there. I'm going to add in, because my buns are still warm, I'm going to add in a little bit of tomato. Come on, sit down, my friend. Like that. Oh, look at that. I know, right? Little mini hamburger. A little bit of cheese. Now, if my George Foreman grill was still clean, or if I had have cleaned it up really quickly, I actually probably would have popped the whole thing in there and toasted it, and I would have actually made that cheese melt. But for now, here we go. I'll just grab it on a plate. If I was going to serve that up as a little snack, look, these are great to your guests for parties. I mean, look at that. How cute is that? Delicious, and every mouthful counts. That's what I love about it. So let me see, what am I going to do? Oh, little minced patty. Oopsie. Sausage fingers right there. I might put a bit of cheese on top of that one there. Oh, thank you, sweets. That one kind of broke up. Thank you, honey. Pop that back on the stove top there. I'm going to put on my lettuce. And that, my friends, how easy is that? So easy. So that whole mixture right there, if you are interested in the calories, that one mixture that I just used, which I would make 4 sliders, that works out calorific wise to about 198 calories, which is nothing. And then you're adding in your protein there, and because there's so much protein, you don't need a lot of these to actually be full. If you want to make a side dish to go with it, instead of having chips, because we all love burgers and chips, I would actually roast up a whole lot of cauliflower, and I'd roast that up in some avocado oil, and I would also put some salt and pepper on there, or add in some garlic. Absolutely delicious. Fiona Malcolm said, brilliant. Thank you, Fiona Malcolm. So good. Molly G. Page, does it matter what time you have the last meal at night? Well, for me, most nights I don't get to eat dinner till after 8 o'clock, but then I'm still working up till midnight most nights. It all comes down to your behaviour. I don't get up early in the morning, so I work later in the day. I guess you have to sort of listen to your own sort of circadian rhythm, and because I'm a night person, for me I can eat a little bit later. What I do know though is that at different times after midnight, our different organs in our body process and eliminate toxins. So you certainly don't want to be eating at midnight, because your body's already going through this transition of getting rid of all those toxins. It is better to eat earlier if that's the case. And a lot of people I know won't eat after 6 p.m. because it really gives their body time to process, so they feel very calm before they go to bed. But that's living the dream for me. Oh, so there you go. Oh, Tracy Marie Huia, kia ora, back to you. So things that's really helped me, super tasty actually, I just can't wait. I'm going to taste this. Oh yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. Oh, so good. But the most important thing is to remember that recipe. I'll get Pete to bring that up on the screen for you one more time so you can have a look. So this is how to make your own low-carb bread. Pete, would you be so kind as to bring up the recipe? So good. Oh. So Pete's going to bring that up for you now. Really easy to make these buns. An egg, almond meal, coconut flour, baking powder, a tablespoon of oil, and I used avocado oil, and salt and pepper. Now on the next screen, I'm going to show you some different options if you're not a red meat eater. These are the other creations that I've done that I really, really love. If you like tuna or chicken and mayo, it does not get much better than that. You can throw in a bit of salad, pastrami, mustard, melted cheese. All you need to do is you actually open up your muffin, you put that on there, and then you melt that down, and you add a gherkin to the top. Delicious. Grilled halloumi or pan-fried halloumi is delicious with char-grilled peppers and olive oil. Oh, I'm literally drooling. I love mozzarella with basil, pesto, tomato and olive oil. And of course, you've got meatballs there, which I've made tonight into mini burger patties with salsa, salad and cheese. But you can also use lamb in there, and you can maybe cover it with a little bit of Greek yogurt with a bit of mint would be absolutely delicious. Now do keep in mind that these buns they can be quite dry, so it's really important to add a little bit of liquid, whether it's your dressing, or I tend not to use a lot of tomato sauces now because they can hold a lot of sugar in there as well. But if you are finding it a little dry, here's a little trick from me. Hopefully this will come out right. You can add a little bit of your favourite oil, just like that. I've just used the avocado oil there, mostly because I love it and I know it looks after my body. Right, team. Time to go. Thanks for popping in. Amanda's just asked, where do you buy your almond meal? Right here, I get it from the supermarket. I got this from Countdown. It's usually always at one price point of around $9. And you'll notice I hardly used any in that recipe, so it does last quite a long time. Pretty much everything I get from, the health food section or the organic section in the supermarket. So yeah, you can find it everywhere. Macro's a great brand that I think is just delicious, and I've used it a heap. Do we have any other questions before I go? Oh, Molly's just said thank you. Hi, Haiti Finlay, nice to see you. Lynette Hill said, I love the double screen, Mr. Ward. Awesome. Excellent. Did you do a double screen tonight? I'm so impressed. All right, well, it is time for me to go. Just making sure I haven't missed any of your comments. And look, double screen. That's pretty exciting. And if you do get a chance, please sign up to my mailing list, because I've got the best recipes coming out for you guys. The most amazing chocolate pudding that you'd think, no, this can't be low carb. Just incredible. Plus I'll share with you some of the tips and tricks that I use to ensure I don't go hungry throughout the day, and I still am losing weight. It's just because I found the right thing to fuel my body. Now, tomorrow night at 7 p.m, we've got Health Bites here in the studio as well, and I'll be on the couch talking to the amazing naturopath Lynette Hill, and we're actually starting to talk about hormones. So, chances are if you're in your 40s or your 50s and you're having unexplained weight gain, it could be what you're eating, or it could be your hormones. So join us on YourFixTV on their Facebook page there for that stream as well. Tuesday nights, I cook with Ray McVinney, and remember, join my mailing list by clicking the blue button on the top of my official Facebook page that says sign up, because very shortly I've got my beginner's guide to low carb living launching very soon, and you can join my Facebook group, which will be launching soon as well. And every week I'll be doing either a breakfast, lunch, dinner or snack recipe for you that you can make in real time with me. So I'll let you know the ingredients and we can do it together. And you'll also get access to, so it's a weekly live class and a live chat like we've done tonight. And you will also get the chance to speak to health experts, fitness experts, anything that we can do to help you on your own weight loss and wellness journey. Amanda Fist has just said, easy. I know, right? Michelle Duffy, thank you. Good to see you. Oh, Fiona Malcolm, thank you, and see you next time. Rebecca Brown, thank you. Wow, this is so cool. Thank you, guys. And if you've got any questions, email me, message me through social media, because this is what I'm here to do. And thank you for being so supportive and for joining my journey, because as much as this is my journey, I know it's your journey, and I'm here with you too. Time to go. Thanks to Miss Leah for helping me in the kitchen, and to Pete, who's behind the camera. Do you guys want to come and wave goodbye now? Come on, team, because I can't do this without my team. Here's Miss Leah and her dad, Pete, my partner. Come on in, team. Guess what we've got for dinner tonight? We got sliders for dinner. Yeehaw. All right, we've got to go now, so we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us. Let's go. Nice job. You got sliders for dinner too. Bye, see you guys. Bye.